This is our little town. Tehachapi it's called. The only town of that name that exists, far as I know. The name was taken from the Kauwasu language. The Kauwasu were Native Americans who lived here before the white man settled it. We are now on Green Street, our only one-way street, and probably the shortest one-way street in the world. 5 years from now, we're going to shut it down to automobiles. Pedestrians only, you know. But for now, we can drive down it and just think about how fashionable we're going to be. This is a nice little theater we have here, and across the street, our movie theater. What used to be right here before moving there. I must tell you, our theater shows first-run films on 4 screens. And if you are ever in the mood for a good car chase, we got you covered. Back in '52, we had an earthquake that really shook things up. I must report, the theater moving had nothing to do with the earthquake. If you look around the area, you will see our murals. We have several on buildings and on our water tower. We're awfully proud of them. They each tell a story about some part of our past. And you will notice none is marred with graffiti. We all feel a certain smugness about that. If you follow Green Street all the way that way, you run into the railroad tracks. We don't get passenger trains in here anymore, but we get a lot of other ones. A new one about every 15 minutes. Since a passenger train doesn't stop here anymore, our depot is listed in the National Register of Historic Sites. A few years back, we restored it, worked for months and months, and just before it reopened, it burned to the ground. Illegal fireworks, I guess. Even the fire department couldn't put it out. People stood by and watched it burn. But this only rallied our civically minded citizen, and they built it right back up. Our depot is now a railroad museum, and I must say, we are mighty proud of it. They fill it with a lot of interesting things. If you have some time, drop by. Right in front of the depot, we have something very few people even know about. It's a compass, facing up, built right into the roadbed. Unfortunately, in order to read it, you have to be in an airplane or high after leaving one of our bars. Down that way on Tucker, we got our very own Starbucks. A few years back, when everyone heard they were building one, I do believe I noticed a kind of collected swagger. People walking a bit differently, as if they had just discovered something wonderful about themselves.
But it's not the trains or stores or our Starbucks that defines Tehachapi. We're defined by our families. Cradled here in our mountain valleys, we have a number of churches of all denominations and faiths. We have quiet home communities like Tehachapi itself, Golden Hills, Bear Valley Springs, and Stallion Springs. High schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, as well as a vibrant home and charter school community. For the creative, we have our art studios, community theaters, and filmmakers. And to stimulate that creativity, We have all 4 seasons here, often all in one day.
And in 7 years, that little movie theater I told you about is going to start showing independent films, and by then, everybody will have had a chance to swagger a little. If you keep going south on 202, you will come up on our 2 vineyards, complete with classy tasting rooms. We're awfully glad they're here. Make us feel sophisticated, I guess. But the dirt roads leading to them are a little difficult. But people don't seem to mind much because if drinking is involved, a little difficulty is easily overcome. And who knows, maybe someday we will be the new Napa Valley. We will really feel smug then. Now in that same direction, we have a gated residential community in our local correctional center, our very own prison. Although the people of each community think they are quite different from the other, they are really pretty similar. I'm sure that gives offense to some people, although I don't actually know which group would be more inclined to accept that offense. A little west of here, they are building a new hospital. There have been so many problems that some people still don't believe it's going to happen. But by golly, it sure looked like it is. I'm hoping we put a cornerstone in it so that people, thousands of years from now, will know what it was like here. Latitude 35 degrees, 7 minutes. Longitude 118 degrees, 26 minutes in the year 2016. Back to the east towards Mojave are our wind turbines, almost 5,000 of them, flung across the hills, almost like Kritlow umbrellas on the grapevine a few years back. Mighty nice town, really. Underneath that smugness I talked about, I sense a real goodness. Philosophers tell us goodness resides in all of us. I certainly feel it in the art studios on a Friday night, or at the Free Symphony on a Sunday afternoon, or at a concert down the way here.